Okay, guys, focus. Alright, I'm beginning now. Okay. Imagine a life restricted to only what is limited to you. Unable to make a valid choice because the options given to you are chosen by a source unbeknownst to you. I hate to break it to you guys, but that does happen in your everyday choices, but especially with your food. Every day, the options you're given are chosen by a corporation fueled by a monetary incentive. And most businesses would do what is cost effective to them and beneficial to their business, which unfortunately for us is at our expense. Walking through the Walmart on East Hillsboro and then going farther north to maybe Orlando, Wesley Chapel, or any Walmart, further up north, you'll notice that there's a difference in what's being sold. I'd like to focus more so on the fruits and vegetables. Farther up north, you'll notice that there is a lot more fresher and ready-to-eat fruits and vegetables, whereas here in Tampa, you'll notice that there's a limited amount of fresh fruits and vegetables that you can just grab off the shelf and use in your cooking that night. That's not a coincidence. Healthy food is a very crucial element in human development and should be advertised properly to help underfunded communities live more physically and mentally rewarding lifestyles. Our local grocery stores and individual perspectives need to expand to be able to understand how much our actions play a role in these choices. Let us first look at what this problem is that I'm talking to you guys about today. Food holds key vitamins and nutrients, which is crucial for development, whether it's physical health like bone health or mental like cognitive enhancement. Foods that are high in calcium are good for your bones. Foods that are high in vitamin C is good for your system. And then foods that are high in flavonoids, which are good for your cognitive enhancement like blueberries, those all play a very crucial role in your development. And it's good to know these things so that you can make informed choices about what you eat. Most studies are done on how these foods can impact older folks, but a lot of these studies can be reflected to show how they can improve long-term health in children and how they can be used as preventative measures. Nutrition is critical in its contribution to the health and well-being of older adults and the likelihood of active and healthy aging. Physiological, psychosocial, and economic factors can accompany aging, and they play a significant role in the nutrition and food choice of older adults, and can act as a barrier to a healthy diet. This is from an article by Whitlock Emily et al. On page 1. This quote highlights that the body itself will determine what it needs to be successful as you're aging. But like I said, this can also be reflected to show how children and young adults can use this as a preventative measure so that you're not having to stress and work as hard at it when you're older. And then if you've eaten poorly your whole life, like I said, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to pick up those good habits when you're older. So this is also reflected in an article by Kenny Lowe et al. On 2024. Now, we just looked at a few study excerpts that research the benefits of incorporating a healthy diet as an aging adult, but they can also, like I said, be used for younger adults to prevent a lot of these issues. Let us now look at how we can incorporate these studies into our actual lives. Many of these studies have been done to show how food advertisements alone promote unhealthy habits in young Americans. This is from Vecchi et al., page 46. This is an actual study done to show that the advertisements in our local neighborhoods and even on TV, grocery stores, social media, all of that show us a negative view of food. Let's look at Burger King ads. Let's look at the different McDonald's ads. We see so many of those. We get coupons for those in the mail, but you don't look at why we're not receiving healthy recipe ads, why we're not looking for sustainable food methods like gardening tips that you can use at home. Those are not being advertised to us. And that is a little bit intentional, and they are more directed towards low-income neighborhoods. A lot of these individuals, we're not shown how to cook, so we don't know like what foods can be used for what, how we can incorporate these healthy methods into our diet. But like I said, the area that you live in is necessarily preset to certain options. That's what I said. This brings me back to my first idea about your options being limited by a corporation that is unknown to you. So how we can combat this is to promote healthier food options in our TV and social media lives. A lot of us fail to realize that our social platforms that we have access to these days, we have control over those more than you think. Even if it's just a couple of people like your family, your friends, then you have the opportunity to reach so many more people. That is a way for us to start spreading more positive and healthy information. We can also do more public health events that teach the public about their options. For example, what I'm doing right now. Your voice has a very big impact. It just depends on how you choose to say what you say, who you want to say it to, and whether the people want to listen. Now, I've just discussed the most effective ways to begin promoting a healthier environment, given the most influential mediums in today's times. I'm now going to discuss what that might look like to us. Now, imagine a society where the options you are given are whole and fresh foods that are easy for you to recognize what they are and how they can benefit you. And like I said, how they can benefit you. A lot of us have, heard about the Michelle Obama movement about healthy food and the healthy food diagram about what your plate should look like. This is a very accurate and very representational, item. This really helps me every day to decide what is good for me, how I'm going to get the most energy out of my day-to-day meals. So this is something that I recommend you all take with you, take a picture, look it up on Google. It's vegetables, which should be the main, portion of your plate, fruit, whole grains, and then healthy proteins. That is a very good whole food meal. And then remember I spoke to you guys about the grocery store designs being very intentional with how the produce is being managed. They have a lot of fresher fruits and vegetables that you can grab. So with that being said, even the snacks and stuff are placed on the shelves in a strategic way for you to not want to grab the most healthiest option or the most reasonable option for your health. A study was concluded on this phenomenon, and researchers did the opposite, moving healthier options to the line of sight, and their findings proved my statement about food placement playing a crucial role in consumer choice to be true. The participants made healthier choices with them being readily available, which is from Van Getzel et al., page 801. Now, I've just discussed a lot with you guys, especially knowing that your local and trusted grocer isn't keeping your consumer's best interests at mind, but stick with me while I tie this all back together. This entire speech has just awakened you all to the reality of conglomerate-based sales and not being in favor of our growth and development. I'm sure you're all surprised that this is even with our food choices. Like I said, food choice is very important in growth and development as it provides a great basis for mental and physical development. And like I said, if these youth and young adults start earlier, the better chance they have at a healthier, more successful life. Now, if our society were to hold our advertisements to higher standards, it would give our local communities a higher advantage at making better decisions. Now, I urge you all to leave here with the intent of spreading this knowledge and preferably taking action in your daily lives, promoting healthier options and food choices in your neighbors and community.
Listening at her while she was doing her speech, he was like, she